Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bedtime Stories. My name is Tracy and I am your host, and we are reading the Canterbury Tales. Did you brush your teeth? Are you going to pee in the potty? Do you have your water? Did you stretch? You got everything taken care of? All right, cool. We're going to read the words of the host of the company. That could be fun. It could be dumb. It's nearly 2 whole pages, so that should be fun. I like several pages, but I mean, we can't always get what we want, right? Right. The words of the host to the company. Our host became aware that the bright sun, a quarter of its daily arc, had run above the horizon and half an hour and more, and though not deeply versed in learned lore, he knew at least it was the 18th day of April, that is harbinger to May, and noticed that the shadow of each tree had stretched out till it had the same degree of length as the upright body from which it fell, and therefore by the shadow he could tell that Phoebus, who was shining clear and bright, had climbed to 45 degrees in height, and for that day and in that latitude was 10 o'clock, he was driven to conclude, and suddenly he swung his horse around. Now, sirs, he said, to one and all I sound a warning this day is a quarter gone, that for the love of God and of St. John, lose just as little time as ever you may. Lose just as little time as ever you may. Time, sirs, is always ebbing, night and day, and slips from us with the hidden hours we take to sleep and with our heedlessness awake, even as the stream that never turns again, descending from the mountain to the plain. As Seneca and many wise men hold, lost time is more to be bewailed than gold. We can regain, he says, lost property, but loss of time destroys us utterly. It will not come again, for hope or dread, once gone, no more than Malkin's maidenhead. When she has lost it in her wantonness, we mustn't rot this way in idleness. Sir lawyer, as you hope to win a cause, tell us a story as your promise was. By free consent you are subject to abide. Judgment is in this case as I shall decide. Discharge your promise now to everyone, and then at least your duty will be done. Host, he replied, so be it, I assent. To break a promise is not my intent. A promise is a debt, I'll gladly pay. My full pledge, that's the best that I can say. The laws we give to others, by all right, we ought to keep ourselves, and not to slight. So says the book, yet none the less I find I have no profitable tale in mind. But Chaucer, though he's ignorant enough, and though his rhyme and meter are but rough, has told it in such English as he can, long since a fact well known to many a man. And if he has not told a story, brother, in one book he has told it in another. More lovers have been blessed with his attentions, one or another place than Ovid mentions, in his epistles that are very old. Why should I tell a tale already told? Of Ceyx and Alcyone when young, he told the tale, and since then he has sung of all these noble women and lovers too, if you will look his good-sized volume through. The legend, as it's called, of Cupid's saints, there may be found with their true love's complaints. Lucrece deep wounded, Thisbe of Babylon, Phyllis turned to a tree for Demophon. Dido drawing her sword for the falsity of her Aeneas and Hermione, and Deianira and Hypsipyle, and Eridane's island in the sea. Leander for the sake of Hero drowned, the tears of Helen and the woe profound. Briseis suffered, and you, Laodamia, your cruelty is there too. Queen Medea, your little children hanging by the throat for your false Jason. And he takes full note Penelope, Hypermenstria, and Alcesius, that your true womanhood among the best is. But Chaucer writes no word, in truth not he, of such a foul example of Canacee, who sinfully loved her brother, and say I, on each and every such foul story, fie. Nor does he speak of Apollonius or of Tyre, in which the king Antiochus bereft his daughter of her maidenhead, throwing her on the pavement, never was read. A tale more terrible. Chaucer, therefore, taking full counsel with himself forbore to write in any tale of his narration such an unnatural abomination. Nor will I undertake one, if I may. But for my tale, what shall I do this day? I would not be like those Pierides, you'll find them in the Metamorphoses, changed into magpies when they aped the Muses, but none the less a fig for all excuses. Although my plain fare follows his sublime, I'll speak in prose and let him have his rhyme. With this the lawyer, in his serious way, began his tale, as you shall hear straightway. Good night, sweethearts. I love you so very much. Sweet dreams. Sleep tight, and don't let the bedbugs bite. And if they do, you bite them back. Good night.